I also have some questions from Yasu today that I'm going to answer. The first being, what did I do New Year's Eve and New Year's Day? So New Year's Eve was actually pretty fun. I had just flown back from California for visiting my sister, so I was definitely a little tired. My flight, it got delayed and I didn't land until like 2 a.m., which was really frustrating. But I ended up getting some sleep that day, and that night I went to a rave. It was like a smaller one. It wasn't like at a big venue or anything, but it was put on by this organization, and it was pretty cool. So it was a rave in like a luxury car garage. So basically the venue was, you had the like stage where the DJ was, and all around it were like these luxury cars, kind of like on platforms and stuff, which is super cool. And then in front of the DJ booth, there was a live wrestling ring. So they had like WWE style performers go on with every set. And that was really cool because I'd never really seen live wrestling. I do like the mixed martial arts club at UW, and like we box and we do some like Muay Thai and stuff like that. Also, I met some really cool people there. Everybody was so nice. And yeah, we were, I was also going to go down to the Space Needle in Seattle because they do like a fireworks show every year, and actually I've never seen it. I've literally lived in Seattle my entire life and I've never seen it, but it ended up being super foggy that day, so we just decided to stay at the rave because we were unsure if we like went to the Space Needle if we would even be able to see anything. And I'm glad that we stayed at the raves because there ended up being no view of the fireworks just because there was so much fog. So yeah, that was really fun. New Year's Day, I was still pretty tired. We tried to go to bed kind of early New Year's Eve just because it was not like, just because everybody was tired. So we were like, let's leave this rave early. But even so, I was, it's not amazing sleep. We still stayed up till like 2 a.m. So I was pretty tired. I slept in a little bit, and then actually I met up with my friend to go to the Seattle Art Museum. It's free the first Thursday and Saturday of every month, I'm pretty sure. The Seattle Art Museum and the Seattle Asian Art Museum, which I love both of them. But it's a super easy bus ride from my house. So we met up, and because New Year's Day was a Thursday, it was free. And so we went down there and we checked out some of their new exhibits, and the Seattle Art Museum is like a massive building. I think it's like 3 or 4 stories. So there's definitely a lot to see, and that took up most of my day. And then unfortunately I was starting to feel a little sick, so I came home and I just kind of tried to sleep it off. I did start my new year by getting sick. I don't know if it was the rave or just not enough sleep or the travel, something like that, but I was pretty sick for maybe like 4 or 5 days right up until school started. So that was a little unfortunate. Not the best way to start my new year, but I'm glad that I got out of my way. I feel like everybody does get sick at some point during winter, so I'm glad that it was earlier and like while I had time to recover, and not like while school was happening or while I had a bunch of work. But yeah, that was my New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. It was pretty fun. I think pretty productive, like good way to start the New Year's. I wrote down all my resolutions and all that, so trying to stick with them. So far I've been doing a pretty good job. Yasu also asked if there's anything I want to buy, and of course there's like always something I want to buy. I'm pretty good at saving money and like only spending when I need it, but there are definitely like certain hyperfixations I get that I'm like, oh, I really want this, and then I have to wait a little bit just because it's expensive to like see if I actually want it before buying it. I feel like something that's been on my list to get for a little bit is some really good outdoor gear. When I was growing up, like my parents would buy all my hiking gear for me, obviously, because I was young, didn't have a job, all that. But now that like I'm in college and I'm kind of doing my own adventures, I'm really in charge of that, and outdoor gear is really expensive, at least like the kind that I want, like really high quality stuff. Like if you're buying authentic Gore-Tex and like waterproof and insulated outdoor gear, it can be like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for like a single piece, which is a little bit out of my budget. Just like, like I have like my expenses, I'm in college, I'm not working full time. But yeah, there have been some brands that I'm looking at. I'm trying to like see if it's worth it this year around. So I'm seeing how often I go out, how often I like go snowboarding and hiking and snowshoeing and all that kind of stuff, to see if it's worth it for me to invest in pieces next year. Like if I'm going to be making this a regular thing, like winter hiking and like mountaineering and stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely been top of my bucket list. I really try not to like subscribe to like trends and micro trends and stuff. So if there's something that I like and it's really popular right now, I definitely wait for a little bit just to see if I actually like it or if I'm just kind of being influenced. And that happens a lot with clothing for me. But yeah, again, I have like a lot of things on my list of like things I want to buy. Then you also asked how I usually spend my birthday. Honestly, this has really changed throughout the years. So when I was younger, I think probably up until the age of like 12, I would have birthday parties. So I feel like it's pretty common. I think one of my favorite ones is that we went to, like my family and I and some of my friends, we went to a glass blowing studio. We made our own ornaments, which was really, really fun. But yeah, it can be like when I was little, I feel like my parties were either like very like planned or they could be very chill depending on the year. So sometimes we would just like have a picnic in the park with all my friends. Like they would buy gifts for me and we would have cake and all that kind of stuff. Then I feel like as I got older, there were most of the years like I kind of just spent my birthday with my family, or like during the day I would hang out with my friends like on my own, and then at night like my family would have food together, and my mom usually bakes a cake. She's a really good baker, so that was always fun. And yeah. Oh, also another tradition for my birthday is we would always get sushi every year because I love sushi. It's one of my favorite foods. But it's like a little on the pricier side, so it was like, you know, not an everyday kind of meal. It was more for special occasions. So I'd always request sushi on my birthday. So whenever we were doing like a smaller celebration, like just with like me and my family, we would get sushi, which is great. Yeah, and then when I came to college, a lot of my birthdays were spent on campus just because, you know, if it falls in the middle of the week, then I have class before and after, and it just doesn't make sense for me to go home on my actual birthday. Even though I live pretty close to home, I would, you know, sometimes I would go home on the weekend and still do that celebration with my family. But like on my actual birthday, I'm really lucky to have like friends who like celebrate me, and they'll throw like little parties for me and like get me some presents, some cake, whatever, and we just have some time to celebrate, which is really, really great. I remember my freshman year, so my first year in college, it was like one of my favorite birthdays ever because my friends threw a surprise party. I had no idea it was coming. I thought I was just going over to my friend's dorm to hang out. And then like I walk in and all my friends are there and they're like, surprise, and there's like balloons and games and drinks and like cake, and they like got me flowers and presents, and I was so like overwhelmed but so happy. I was like, oh my god, guys, I'm gonna cry right now. So that's definitely one of my favorite birthdays. I think this year, one of my roommates and I have a birthday 2 days apart, so we might like throw a joint birthday party and make it kind of a bigger thing, especially since it's both our 21st birthday, which is kind of like a big deal here, just because like that's drinking age and like people like to party. So yeah, I think that'll be fun, and we'll see if we can actually plan it and get off the ground. Okay, and then next question is, what did I do yesterday? So yesterday I woke up early and my roommate Lola and I, we went to go thrifting. So we went to the Goodwill bins, which is basically a big outlet for all the clothes that don't get bought at Goodwill, which is a thrift store. And then like it's priced by the pound. So we went there. I got some really cool things. I got some shoes and some pants and stuff, and it was all like under $20, which is amazing prices for clothes, right? And then we went to like a bigger Goodwill. We wanted to donate some old stuff that we didn't use anymore. And then we shopped around a little bit. I got some like essentials. Like I needed more containers for like my kitchen and for prepping meals and stuff like that. So I got that, and then I went straight from there to work. So I had work from like 2 o'clock through 7:30ish. And we're super busy. So my main job is at the like UW gear garage, so we're renting like outdoor gear and like doing gear maintenance and stuff like that. And because it is the winter season, we're really busy with skis and snowboards and snowshoes. That's what most people are renting right now, so it definitely keeps me busy. It was a long shift, but I really like my job, and I feel like it comes with a lot of perks. Like I'm able to rent gear for free, which is great, so I don't have to like buy my own snowboard or anything like that. But yeah, that was mostly what I did yesterday. Oh, and then I came home and it was my friend's 21st birthday party, so we went over there and celebrated with her a little bit. And spirit was super high because obviously we love her, but also in Seattle, yesterday was a big game between the Seattle Seahawks, which is our football team, and the 49ers, which is the football team from San Francisco. And not only is it a big rivalry, but it was a really like important game because it basically has a lot of consequence for where we sit in the Super Bowl. And we ended up absolutely smoking the 49ers. So we did amazing, and everybody was like going out to the bars, and you know, you could see people like celebrating in the streets, and it's a big deal. I feel like Seattle isn't super well known for our sports, but when our like sports teams do well, we get super competitive and like super just like in high spirits. So that was really fun. And then that combined like with my friend's 21st birthday, it was a good night, high spirited night. Everybody was in a good mood. The last question Yasu has for me is, what am I going to do tomorrow? So today I have work and I'm gonna be productive. I'm gonna do some of my like homework and stuff like that. It's a long weekend, so tomorrow is MLKJ Day, so we have school off, which is great, but I still wanna like get all my homework done and just make sure that I get ahead of the week a little bit. Which leaves my tomorrow completely free, and it is so sunny. It hasn't been sunny in Seattle for a little bit, so some of my roommates and I are gonna go on a hike. Because I work today, I can go to the gear garage and pick up some gear. I think that we're gonna bring like a stove or something so that we can make food on the trail, but hopefully in the snow. I feel like snow and sun is so fun. But yeah, we're gonna go and do that. Hopefully it doesn't take all day, but even if it does, I wouldn't be mad. And that's kind of all I have planned for tomorrow. We'll see how much work I can get done today. If I can't finish it all, then after the hike, I'm going to have to do some more homework. But hopefully not. And I'm super excited because we're going to wake up early, go out, spend all day there, and just kind of like have fun with it, because that's what vacation's for. That's what having a day off is for, just kind of doing what you want. So. Okay, that is all that I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and this is 英会話。
実践的な英会話を短期間で効率よく身につけたい方は、いろんなアメリカ人の生の英会話を学ぶのが一番です。英会話教材 This is 英会話では、アメリカ人約150人の生の英会話を紹介しています。概要欄に紹介していますので、ぜひ見てください。それでは次回をお楽しみに。